It's Mega Mailbag time again. What did I buy this week which you too can purchase and then hide from your partner? Don't forget to check out my merch down the merch shelf there. I've recently reduced the prices because I realised that actually the Teespring default prices are actually a bit expensive. So I've dropped the prices down just so I get a couple of dollars on each item. So just a little bit of supplemental income to help the channel. So you can check that merch shelf out down below there. So these are 20 amp BMS modules. So it looks like it's a 3-cell module. 0 volts, 4.2 volts, 8.4 volts and 12.6. So that would mean it's 3 cells. See a bit more clearly on the back there. And also you've got power. So I've already got some 2-cell BMS modules which I'll be using in my FarmTech project, and I thought I might need to do 3 cells on some of the items. In order to do that you need to have a 3-cell BMS. So there's a 3-cell BMS. 20 amps is way more than it needs. It only needs an amp, 2 amps really at max. So it's way overkill, but this is how they came. So if you're not too familiar with BMS modules, what they actually do is you can hook up 18650 lithium ion batteries, for example, which are rated at 4.2 volts maximum charge voltage, 3.7 volts nominal. You can create a battery bank yourself, and this means that the batteries don't get overcharged or over discharged. It handles all that for you. So you've got to hook the batteries up in the correct sequence in a string. Just make sure the batteries get looked after properly. It's quite important to have with lithium batteries. You don't want to be starting a fire but over discharging or overcharging them. That wouldn't be very good. There'll be links down below for all these items as well, don't forget. Always have links down below. Just about always anyway. I did it on the back of the budget. These took quite a while to arrive. I ordered these switches about 3 months ago. Might have been 2 months ago, but obviously because of the coronavirus it's delayed it in China, and then because in New Zealand half shutting down it's also delayed it in New Zealand. So anyway, they got here finally. So these are, I think, 18mm, I think those are. It might be 22s. Just measure them. PCB ruler here, PCB way. Do it this way up, because I'm metric. From the base of the switch to the top of the switch, 18mm. There you go, 18mm switches. I've shown you a pack similar to this one before. Is 4.3mm up to 13mm. So I've got a couple of these packs now. The reason being is I've purchased them from different sources, thinking if I purchase them in lots of places, one of them will arrive sooner than the rest. You don't want to be buying the one which then takes 3 months to get it. Like this one. But anyway, got here in the end. So I've got heaps of these, and even these ones aren't actually long enough. I need 22mm. So yeah, I've got some locally, thankfully. Power. This one is connectors. So we'll see me show you some similar ones to this before, which were longer. So these are 10cm ones. Last time I got 20cm ones. In the project I'm working on, the 20cm ones leaves a big cable which I then have to try and fit into the box, and takes up a lot of space and makes it a bit hard to assemble. So semiconductor cables. These got a particular name. It's a JST connector, isn't they? It's XN or something like that, I can't remember. But these are 0.1 inch spacing, or 2.5mm. Or 2.54mm, I want to be precise. Yeah, I had some long ones before, which are nice, but I needed some shorter ones. I'm hoping these aren't too short. I might need something in between the two, but these are fairly cheap. I think I've got 20 of them. Just I've got a bit of a stock of them as well. Thanks to our Patreons to support me. I've had a nice piece of test gear turn up recently, which I showed in a previous mailbag. I think it might be the last one actually. That I was able to purchase with money from my sponsorships with PCBWay, and from contributions from my Patreon donations and my Banggood earnings as well. So I combined all of those and I was able to buy a piece of test gear, which is brilliant, which is exactly what I was kind of wanting my channel to do. So here we have some SMA connectors. These are RP SMA. What the RP means is reverse polarity. It means you've got a pin on the other side and a hole that side. Is that right? No, these aren't RP SMA, this is SMA. Hold on a minute. So over here is my FarmTech project. So I was mentioning about those cables. It's in here. I mentioned that before. It's all tied up in there trying to make space. That's why I bought those other cables. But these connectors here, these aren't RP SMA, these are just SMA connectors. So I don't think it's going to work on this one like this. I did buy some 45s as well. I didn't think it was going to work. Probably not. Oh, it's close. It might just go. I'll just try and make it so it comes out the back of the unit instead of sticking out straight out the back. It's close. It almost goes. Is it going wonky? No, that's right down. That just about works actually. Cool. I wasn't sure if it'd do it or not. I wasn't sure if the standoff from here to here would be enough. And apparently it is. So yes, this is not RP SMA, it's just SMA connectors. Bending the antenna very slightly there. So it's only just okay. So I'm not 100% with that one, I did get some 45s which I'm waiting to arrive as well. Obviously that would then come up at a different angle. But if that works, that's alright. But I'm not sure, I think it's a bit pushing it really. I've got some for stock now anyway. So I was thinking about the RP SMA because I've been doing repairs recently on some stuff which used RP SMA connections. And for some reason I had that in my head because I bought some RP SMA connectors as well, but they weren't these type, these are just SMAs. As I've said a couple of times now. Yeah. I think I know what's in this box already. I guess we'll find out though. I've already kind of figured out where the front is. Try and save some time from messing around with it. There we go. Oh, that's nice. This is a very nicely presented battery box. They're not normally like this. That's surprising. Normally they're a bit more sort of thrown together. Well, that makes me a bit more confident about being a quality battery, I suppose. The good idea of actually putting aside a nice housing like this and transport box. So let's see. Does it balance? No. Seems very heavy one end. Okay, that makes me a little suspicious about its battery layout. It's about here, balance point. So a good way of telling if a battery's got all the cells in it, because they have this plastic shell on here, is whether they balance roughly in the middle or not. And it's not, it's over here, which means there's obviously centre of gravity is in this area, probably nothing at the end here. And in fact, if I squeeze it, that's solid there, and that's squashing down. So the cells only come down here. So we'll see. The problem with getting these aftermarket batteries, you never quite know what you're going to get. I don't think I've got any 15-inch battery packs here. Oh, yes I do, here we go. This is also a rubbish battery pack. This one's actually goes the other way. If I stick my finger on that side, in the middle, it goes that way instead. Alright, because it's got nothing in this end. This is out of a laptop I purchased to repair. And I've got another one here. Is this 15-inch? Ah, that's a 13-inch one. So that's no good. Trying to find decent batteries. I mean, this is definitely a bad pack. Let me go and weigh this battery and see what it actually weighs. Okay, so this rubbish pack, which I know is really bad, that's 292 grams. This pack which just arrived is 419 grams. So 50% more capacity potentially. It does feel substantial, but I don't have a 15-inch pack here to compare it against, unfortunately, apart from this rubbish one. So the fact that it weighs a lot more than this means it's probably a good one, but it does seem it's off balance slightly. So maybe it's not 100%, maybe it's like 90% there. This is for a Macbook which I'm repairing, which is right here. So I've been working on this one. I've done some video recording on it already. I've still got some parts coming for it. I need to replace the Wi-Fi card, the Wi-Fi flex, which I've tried repairing, but I've not had any success with that. I'm not sure if it's the flex or the card, which is bad because they got liquid damage. I've done some other work on it as well, and it's most of the way there. It's like 95% working. It needs a new battery, which is what this is for, and it needs a drive retention clip. I've ordered some of those. I thought I had some, but I can't find the damn things. I don't know. I'm sure I had some. Yeah, obviously I'm waiting for those two parts. Once those arrive, then I'll try and finish a repair video on this one and get this published. I've been working on this one for months. Well, it's been sitting here for months, so I should say. I started working on this in about November. And it's now April almost. Did some work on it, then I got distracted with my project, which I've been working on, which you will see videos on this thing. So I've been putting all my time to doing that, and now that's basically almost finished. And I can go back on to doing other stuff again. Anyway, waffle. You get the idea. Got some repair videos coming up if you haven't seen them already. Or yeah, I don't know which sequence are going to get released, and this be first or whether the repair videos be first. But I've got a few things coming up. Hey, excellent. Right, so I was talking about these just now. 45-degree SMA connectors, not RP SMA. SMA. Yes, that's correct. SMA. Great, even ordered the right ones. Yes, the RP SMA in the threaded section on RP SMA has the pin instead of the socket. It's the other way around. That's why it's called RP, reverse polarity. These are just SMA connectors, which is exactly what I want. So great. Let's get my project in here. And we'll fit it. And get it bed down. There we go. So that's what I'd planned, was that. This is why I need to get those shorter cables in there. So yeah, that's what I was planning on having, is that instead of it sticking straight out the back. I'm not sure if it's less of a hindrance or not, but if I can get the other one to fit okay, the vertical 90 degree, then I might use that instead. I wasn't quite sure about how it's going to sit on there really. But yeah, we'll give it a go. Here's got two options and a stack of them. Hope everyone's keeping well with this coronavirus thing. Trying to keep your distance from each other, keeping isolated. And to be honest, for me, that's actually been a bit of a godsend, because that's tend to be how I am anyway. I don't tend to socialise or go out. I'm a bit of a nerdy, geeky sort of thing. Anyway, some people find it a lot harder. My wife is very social, so she's finding it a bit harder to be inside all the time. But she has an essential job, so it's actually she's getting out there. Oh, excellent. There's the other thing I was talking about just now. There's the drive holders for the MacBook. So a bunch of these. In comes the drive screws, that's nice. I thought I had some of these already, but they are missing. These just sit over the drive. What is, you've got these screws sitting going inside the drive strong. So you screw those inside the drive and it's still like a rounded head on it. And that then locates into these little retainers. It clamps it down to these rubber bushes, just buffers it a little bit. Nice vibration limiting and stuff like that. So MacBook's coming along. I've only got a couple more parts to come for that now. This is something I've got as more of a spare part for my 3D printer. So I've got an Ender 3 by Creality. I've been doing some videos on it recently. Did some upgrades. I did the SKR Mini E3 main board replacement. I've also done the TFT 3.5 inch touchscreen replacement as well. Added a BL Touch clone, which is called a 3D Touch. Added that. Did a video on that too, which I'll be publishing probably for this one actually. So I've been doing some work on it. And I was sort of thinking, well, I know people are saying about having their feed mechanisms breaking. So I thought, I kind of don't want to be in a position where I've got a broken printer because I don't have the parts. So or I have to wait for parts to arrive. And they can break, these levers can break, they can break through here on the plastic versions, the original ones. You put so much stress on it, or just fatigue or whatever, they just suddenly fail. Mine's still good, mine's been actually pretty good, it looks fine. But just in case I've got a metal one. There's different versions of these. You can get ones just like dual gear and stuff like that, but this isn't dual gear. As far as quality goes, I've got no idea. Is it any good? I've got no idea. Why it comes in lots of pieces already instead of pre-assembled, I don't know. Should we try and figure out how to put this in together? So I think I'm figuring this thing out. It's a bit of a strange setup. I mean, it could actually be done a very different way, or actually a better way, for adjusting tension, that sort of stuff, if you need to do a tensioner. So what I figured out is we've got a countersink screw. Let's get it closer. So we have a countersink screw here. There's actually got two of them, but only one of them seems to be used. Countersink screw there. Then we've got three screws of this size, which go in the other holes. Well, sorry, two of those go in the other holes. I'll try and put it in. Alright. So that's that mounting done for the actual stepper. Okay. In theory. We have the lever arm here, where you have a couple of confusing aspects. So first you've got this long bolt here, and you've got this spacer. Now this spacer could also fit on the spring. It could fit on the spring really well, in fact. So it actually makes you wonder if maybe it was originally designed for that. I don't know. That bolt goes through there. That's a spacer for this hinge pin here, which is obviously designed for a bigger bolt in the first place, but using it as an adapter. Then we've got a shorter cap screw type hexagonal bolt with a spring washer, and I've got the roller in here. Now if you actually take this off, there's a tiny little ledge which just sits on just here, and I think this is a bit of a design oversight, because I actually believe that because that piece rotates, it might be a problem. I don't know, it might be alright. It's clamped down, it might be enough rigidity in there to actually not be a problem, but that could actually tip and rub if it's not tightened up properly. But you can't tighten up too much, because otherwise then the bolt will protrude to the bottom. Yeah, it might be alright, it's close. So that's that part, right? So that will go together like this. And then I think, because you've got these two little bolts left over here, and also the countersink one, which I'm a bit of a loss for, I think these are supposed to go in here as retainers. Let's put it in there further away. So I think those are supposed to just be a retainer for the spring, so the spring can't slide out. So then you put the spring over here onto that, like that. Okay, then that gives you your tensioner which is obviously a leverage on that point there. I think that's how it's designed to work. And obviously then you got your gear on the top, which goes on the stepper motor. You should make sure that this is exactly the same size as your original one if you're going to replace it, because if it's a different size it affects your feed rate. It will affect your steps for your E-steps. Even if it's like 0.1 of a millimetre different from the original, it will give you a different feed rate. So that's something to consider. Then we obviously got the airline fitting here, which is used for the Teflon tube, which is for the Boonton extruder. So that just screws into there. So in theory, with all that together, with one spare screw, which I'm puzzled about, that means if you squeeze this down, you should actually be able to see straight through all those holes and see out the other side. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. You can just see through there. Right, you can actually see that when it's tensioned, it's there. What I don't like about this, I suppose, is the fact you've got this channel in there, which is the same size as the tube, or as the filament. But if you look through there, it's not actually quite lined up with the ball bearing. Let's try and get some light behind it so you can see. Get some light behind it. That channel's not quite straight, it's slightly offset from the ball race. It's not quite there. Maybe look through the outside, maybe you can see through that way. Can you see the ball race sticking up? It's close, you know, I think it's very slightly off. Not much. So I think really, I'm not sure this tube actually needs to be that big. I mean, maybe it needs to be bigger. Obviously it's got to allow it to clamp, but the clamping part, once you get to the clamp, then that's the important part. Once you get the this piece, you know, once you get through that section, that's where it's important. Before that it's less important. Obviously it's got to kind of guide it and keep it kind of straight, but I think that hole actually could be enlarged and make it better. I think that might take some stress off it and make it a bit easier to feed, because right now it might have to go around a slight corner on the edge there. Just a little tweak. Let's have a look at this hinge a little bit. Something just occurred to me. Does that go right to the bottom? Yes it does, so that's fine. So yes, see a little step just there, that spacer. So that obviously is what clamps it down, so when you tighten that bolt up, this can still pivot. Alright, I hope that explains it. The only thing that's a mystery to me is this particular countersunk screw. I've got no idea what that's for. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense to you. It helps you who are mechanically minded in order to figure out which bits could possibly be where. I mean, it wasn't that hard to figure it out, but maybe some people would be a bit confused by it and maybe put bolts in wrong places, that sort of thing. Hopefully it makes it a bit easier for someone. Okay, last package. I think I know what's in here. It's a bit squashed. Anyway. You can see from the box, it's from another YouTuber. With a note and a box. Anything else in here? Oh, yes there is. Another piece there. So this is from Ian Scott Johnston, who's got a YouTube channel. He makes these PDVS2 minis, amongst other things, which are these precision DC calibrators, 0 to 10 volts. Awesome little unit. He sent me a prototype which I did a video on before. It's prototype number 2D. He's been making some revisions. I've got revision 1 of the board, and he's got a new revision of the board, and he's also changed the casings as well. I'm not sure he's offering it as an option or whether it's an actual casing change. And he's had these custom made boxes done. So instead of having a plastic box like this one, this is an aluminium box, which I think is CNC'd, I'm not sure. Yeah, CNC'd. So they sent me all the parts to do an upgrade to my unit to put it into this new metal box instead, which is in theory going to help with shielding and thermal effects, that kind of thing as well. It may or may not. And that's not the reason for doing it. He wanted a nice robust box instead of a plastic box, you know, which has been fine. I mean, it's no issue with it, but he wanted to be a nice solid metal box, which is really nice actually. That's pretty weighty. So it's also sent me the new silk covers as well. It's got 2 of them here. One has a seal header, one doesn't. Okay. I think he laser cuts these himself. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe he'll comment down below and tell you where he laser cuts these himself. But I guess he's laser cut. So this, pull that sticky stuff off, should allow the top of my existing one and fit, which it does. Obviously, you have to peel the cover off once I actually fit it. So apparently this requires a little bit of different mounting because it's got some spaces in here, and so I had to put the board in, use spacers and offset things in order to make it fit nice and flush. So apparently this should actually sit flush just on the face like that, so it's all nice. So thank you very much Ian for sending that to me. He very generously gave it to me at no cost. He didn't charge me for it or even ask for any money or anything, so That's really generous of him. As always, he's been really generous with me. Gave me this for free, gave me a programmer for free, gave me a new box for free. Thank you very much, Ian. Ian's a good guy, I like him. What I'll have to do is upgrade and have a look at this. It shouldn't be too hard. So obviously they've got the two covers, one with and without the serial header. I don't tend to do any serial connections myself. I mean, it's got a serial possibilities. I think it does send out data through serial, or you can control it with serial connection. I think that was one of the options he has. But because I'm not using it, I'm just using it as a standalone unit, I'll just put on this panel here rather than the serial connection one. But at least it gives me the option later on. If I do want to use serial, I'm going to swap the cover over, fit the header, and I'm done. I can use serial connection and hook up to a computer. So what I think I'll do is I'll just quickly fit it now. I think this is the right screwdriver. Barely. Apparently, because I've got a earlier revision board, I need to make a slight tweak to the power socket or something. Because you're a bit worried about the clearance of the socket from the casing. Now, obviously on a plastic box it doesn't matter because it's plastic, it's insulated. But because of the difference there, being a metal box, he wants to have more clearance to be sure it's going to be okay. So let's lift it out. So you can see on the inside it's also been machined to allow a bit more clearance so you can fit into the box. You know, you look at the design of this thing, it's beautiful. He puts an awful amount of effort into this stuff. He does some videos on this and shows you how he does it, and it's very interesting. You know, the amount of design is done to it and care he puts into making them. It's quite impressive. So let's look a bit how we get this into the other box. So there's the original with the stuff. I'll probably have to put that into a little bag or something, sort it out. So we've got some different spaces of these. They might be the same height spaces, might be we use the same spaces, but also have to change the screws. Let's just check the heights of these, make sure I don't get them mixed up. I think they're the same. I knew it was damn it the same. I think they are basically the same. Yeah, they're the same height, same spaces. That's fine. So I've got some spares as well now, because I'm bound to lose one day. So apparently the issue is well, not issue, but the thing to be concerned about is just here I've got the charging socket. So you've got a charging port just there, and that's on the sub board. And you've got the pins that stick out the side there, and obviously you've got a mounting post right here. And when you put it into a metal case, that's a bit close to the posts inside. So obviously, rather than risking it shorting out, it's best to give them a bit of a trim. You can see it fits in it beautifully. It's a really nice fit. Wow. Okay, so let's have a close look at that. Let's just stick it sideways and try and line it up like this. Oh yeah, okay. Right, yeah. So if I look at it this way round, you can probably see the post. It's not too dark. So yeah, you can see how close that is. So there's the pin sticking out and there's the post. So yes, it is very close. So yes, I can understand why he wants me to trim those back a little bit. On the newer version boards, it's got version 1.1. That's all been allowed for, but he's already changed that to make that a better fit, to eliminate that potential problem. So it's just because I've got an early version board as a prototype, so that's why that's like that. Minor tweak, I sort of cut those off to make it a bit of a clearance there. So yeah, I might even put some sealant over there and just try and insulate them a little bit as well. I wonder if there's power on here with the batteries in it. I should probably put the batteries out just to be sure there's no power transfer on that connector in case there's a linked system there. So let's pop these out like this. Oh, ping. I don't think there's any traces on this side of the board anyway, actually. No, I think they're on the other side. Must be on the other side of the board, so I can't actually see any traces this side, so I probably can actually go completely flush with it, which is what he recommends. Let me read that instruction again. I've lost it already. I'll come back. No, it just said trim them off to get some more clearance, so there's no traces I can see on this side of the board. Right, so there we go, trimmed off. It's not completely flush, but I've increased the clearance significantly. So I'm going to put some insulation stuff on there, which is my liquid electrical tape. Comes in really handy stuff. This is a new tube, so I'm not quite sure it's going to come out. And we'll just put some over there just to insulate in case there's any rubbing at all. And also show me too, probably if it touches the casing. Let's just stick a bit of that on there. And I'll leave that to dry, then I'll put it in. Let's have a close look at this board to see how it's actually going to seat on the posts inside the box here. Now these ones here are fine, there's nothing around those holes too much. There's a little bit there at R7, there's a little through hole via right there, just next to it, which is close. Because if you look at the box, you see the inside, it sort of wraps around. So it's not dead vertical, it wraps around the box. Obviously where that's their milling bit, curved bit they're using. So it's not surprising it does that on all those posts. So I'm just sort of looking at it here, make sure nothing's going to short out. So I think this one, that via there's maybe close. I mean, I don't know, is it? Let's have a look. Try and get the light on it. You can see if that's over, put it over the top, upside down, you can see that wire is really close to the edge. So I'm probably going to cover that up as well, with that insulation stuff I've got. Because if it sits slightly to one side, it might short. Okay. And if I do the other end as well, you'll see there's also that trace which runs around the edge here, around C20. So I think that also might be something to be concerned about. Because if you look at where that sits, it's close. Oh, maybe it's right, but it is very close. So I'm going to put some insulation on that as well, just to help it, just an extra layer. I mean, it's right on that edge. Obviously, this is because it's a version 1 revision, and I imagine on the current revision that's not an issue anymore. But just something to watch out for if you've got one of these early ones and you do change the case. And another little detail, which I just noticed when I was trying to work on this, is there's a trace that runs up the edge, right along the edge of the board, and I'm not sure if that's exposed on the edge or not. If that is exposed copper on the edge, I can't quite see. It's right on the edge anyway, it's right up to it. That might touch the casing, and that is a positive terminal, so probably don't want that. So I'm going to run a bit of that sealant along the edge as well, just to help that too. So whilst that is drying, I'm going to peel the film off here. Let's have a look. Oh, come on. This is like the ultimate home, isn't it? Peeling the film off. Let's see how it came out. Ready? It's almost the pornographic part, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Oh, I didn't do it in one go. There we go. And instead of being transparent, it's now got a white backing on it. Although I could peel that off. So it's the obviously the film. I'm tempted to leave that on there actually. I don't know. I mean, if I leave it on there, it looks like that. Which one do you reckon? Like that, or like that? Although yeah, it doesn't really show much difference, does it? I don't know, it's quite nice seeing the workings, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have to peel the other side off as well, actually. Let's peel this side off too. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Oh, come on. One go this time. Come on. Yay. Gotcha. That's nice. Cool. It's probably dried enough by now. I'll probably go put it back together. I missed a bit. Look, you got the P and the D here. We must miss those bits. Here we go. Here we are. That's it. Now it's done. Let's put it together. Right, let's drop this in. So I put a piece right around the outside edge of the board of that sealant, just in case there's any traces on the outside edge. I mean, that is definitely that one on the top, which I was a little bit concerned about. So if I also try and make sure it sits down rather than up as well, just to create a bit more of a gap too, just to be sure. There's nothing around the bottom I can see, but there could be something there. The internal layers. This is multi-layer board, I'm not sure how many layers are in it. So, spacers, you drop these in first. And you're supposed to get the cover on the top like that, and then get the screws through the spacers. There's probably a better way of doing this actually. I'm probably doing it the hard way. I often do things the hard way. And one more which isn't quite sitting in the right place. Hopefully I can jiggle it around. Come on. Come on, move over there. There we go. Right. Those should screw down. Shouldn't have to do it too hard. Just enough to hold it. Don't want to crack the perspex. I mean, perspex can take a little bit, but you don't want to take so much. But it's got these screws as well, you know, to show you the washers on them and the spring washers to to absorb the stress. So let's compress the spring washers a little bit, but not all the way, and that should be right, I reckon. There we go. Done. Turn it on. And it works even. Still goes. 14.9 volts. Should probably charge this thing up. It's a really good little source. If you haven't seen this, look at my videos on this thing. I might link it down below or something. And don't forget to go and check out Ian's channel, because he does some really good stuff. Very impressive. This thing's accurate. Once it warms up, of course, give it half an hour or so, maybe an hour. But battery powered, so you can move it around. But that's nice, substantial thing. Might even put some feet on the bottom of that. It's designed to be this way up, so it's sliding. Also stop getting scuffed up on the back, keep it looking nice. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll chuck the feet on. I've got heaps of feet. Still off. So thanks a lot, Ian, for sending that to me again. Very generous, and I'll catch you next time. This has been a long mailbag because I did mess with this, but hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, give us a thumbs up, and click the bell icon as well. Make sure you click on that so you get notified about new videos. I hate having to tell you that every single time, but there's people which watch a video for the first time may not have heard it. So I've asked YouTube to make sure it's so the default is on, not off, but they don't seem to want to do that. Anyway, catch you later. Bye. I've got another mega mailbag here. So I've got a few items here, and I think this one here is going to be fairly interesting. And there's a few other little bits and pieces in here which are whatever. Waffle, waffle, waffle. It's mega mailbag time. Let's see what we've got this time. Stick around. Ooh. It's mega mailbag time. Let's see what I've got this time to tempt you to make you buy things from China. It's another mega mailbag. Let's sort of purchase this time, so you too can also hide what you bought from your wife and not tell her how much you spent. Let's see what's here that can tempt you, so you don't have to tell your wife. No, that's not right. It's mega mailbag time again. Let's see what's in here which could tempt you for things which you might have to hide from your significant other. So these things, in case you're not